Hi guys, welcome back to The Goods and this week's movie review. Lights Out. Now, this film actually became to be because James Wan and probably the rest of America saw this internet video about this little creepy creature that can only be seen in the dark. So this little 3-minute video that was on the internet came across James Wan. He made it into a feature-length film. When it was announced, everybody got excited, especially if you were a horror fan and saw this video. So will this be, worthwhile from 3 minutes to about 90 minutes? We're gonna take a look when we talk about it in this movie review. So let's start with the cast. The cast of this film are gonna be kind of smaller names because this is a smaller film. So we have Teresa Palmer, and if you're not familiar with her, she was in Warm Bodies, which I wasn't a big fan of, but we're not gonna talk about that in this movie review. All right, other people in this film are going to be Maria Bello, Gabriel Bateman, and Alexander Depersia. Like I said, very, very small names. They do have, obviously, credits on IMDb, but they're very, very small, or they had smaller roles. I am not even going to go into what they were in before. So let's talk about the plot. Now, the premise of this film is that we have a family that's being plagued by this entity, and like I said before, the creature can only be seen in the dark, so when the lights go out and when they come back on, no creature. So it's a really creepy, eerie premise because it deals with it, or it plays with that whole boogeyman type scenario where, what lies in the dark, but they do it in a different type of way, which we'll talk more about when we get into the goods and the bads. So let's start with the goods. The goods of this film is that premise is awesome and it totally works in this film. They do it in such a way that it makes it fresh, and you figure you would get tired of it, having to do the lights on, lights off, lights on, lights off, for 90 minutes. But the film does it differently each time to where it's always fresh, and it's always kind of unexpected on how the creature is able to still maneuver, because they start from a light switch to many other things that I'm not going to spoil for you in this review. So that's one of the things that I really liked about it, is that the uniqueness of the character and how interesting the whole boogeyman thing was transitioned in this film. Other things that I liked about it is that the jump scares, they can only do jump scares so many times, but because they kept changing the dynamic of this whole lights on, lights off thing, that it still made the jump scares kind of come out of nowhere. So that's great for a horror film, and was great what happened in this film. So other things that I liked about it is, like I said, the character's different. It's a redesign of the boogeyman. And when we have films like The Haunting, or haunting films like The Conjuring coming out, a lot of people may get the vibe that this is a Conjuring knockoff, but it is totally different. So I like the originality that they had in it. I like the jump scares, and I like the whole dynamic of the lights on, lights off. So I'm gonna stop bubbling over here with what I liked about this film. Let's talk about what I didn't like in the bads. So the bads of this film, really didn't have many because, honestly, I like this film. The two things that I had problems with. The first thing is that they give you some backstory on the character itself, the family and the entity that they're dealing with. There is a connection, which I'm not going to go and spoil, but when they get to explain what the connection is and why they're connected, they're really, really kind of lacking as far as the explanation. It kind of leaves you like, okay, well, that's the beginning of it, but I want more. And maybe that's because they want to flesh out the universe later. They want to turn this into a trilogy or a franchise, whatever that case may be. But really left you kind of like, I wish they would have gone in more detail with that. Kind of tell me exactly how this works. Now, other thing that I didn't like about it, and it's probably a small nitpick, is that the character design, when we actually get to see what this creature looks like, kind of lacking. It's kind of I'm gonna explain it this way. We've had a lot of creatures that had long, messed up hair, or kind of the wet look, and this one wasn't. That's not what it looks like, so I'm not spoiling that for you. But this one doesn't really differ from that type of setup too much. There, I'll leave it at that, so I don't spoil anything for you guys. But that's really all I found wrong with this film. Other than that, this was really a great film, so I don't have to tell you if I actually liked the film, because I really did. Should you go out and see the film? If you're a horror fan, yes, go out and see this film, because like I said, it was a fresh change on this particular type of genre of horror. Also, too, if you're not a horror fan, or you're not really into horror films because they can be too scary, or well, this one's kind of scary, but they can be too gory or too over the top. That's not what happens in this one. This one totally plays a psychological game with you, and it deals with tension and suspense. So you will definitely like this one. I believe it's PG-13, so there's not too much in it that would really find offensive. That's what I really think about this film. Go out and see this movie. I give James Wan some more money, because I'm sure we've given him so much money so far. That's all I got. Make sure you guys comment below. Tell me what you guys thought about the film. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, we'll talk about whatever in regards to this film down below. And make sure you subscribe so that way you know about other videos that we have come out. We do more than movie reviews. We do a podcast. We do Star Wars talk. We also do, we talk about guilty pleasure movies as well. But that's all I got for this week. Take it easy, guys.